So yeah, my name is Bastien. As mentioned, I'm going to be your speaker for today's webinar. And as mentioned as well, I am French, so I apologize in advance for the accent I may have. All right, then I guess let's get started. The title of this webinar is The Ultimate Guide to the Guest Directory. So first of all, what is the hotel guest directory? It's an essential part of the hotel room that gives important information about the hotel's offers, amenities, and house rules. Anything the guests need to know about the hotel will be added to that guest information folder. Each hotel has their own folder with a certain design in line with the hotel's brand image. Usually it's a leather binder, or a paper booklet. Some hotels don't even have one, like Hughes hostels or smaller properties. All right, so now on to the first part, which is introduction to the guest folder in the hotel room. So what kind of information actually is added in these guest folders? What you have to think about first is to look through the eyes of your clients. What do they want to know when they arrive in your property and when they arrive in their room? How do they want to communicate? Do they want to go all the way down to reception? Do they prefer face-to-face, telephone? It really depends. How do they want to find their room service menus, for example? So the guest folder provides the hotel's basic information and house rules. It's that extra bit of personal service, like a chocolate on the pillow or a free welcome drink at the hotel bar at check-in. And in the end, this guest folder is the main source of information for the guests, other than the hotel's website. And as mentioned, in some hotels, they choose to put out flyers and brochures instead of guest directories. These brochures and flyers, they can also give the guests the chance to find out more on what to do while on vacation. They will be able to learn valuable things, like the guest, about the region, the most interesting sites or events that are taking place nearby. All right. However, we strongly believe that quality counts much more than quantity. So you have to ask yourself which information your guests really need. And for that, you need to find out which customer group do your guests actually belong to. Are they business travelers or vacationers, single travelers or families? You have to make sure that your chosen material actually matches your hotel and its image. And you're also going to make it visually pleasing as well. It's an effort that will pay off once you see your guests' feedback. If the guest sees a beautiful colored folder nicely placed on the table or on the nightstand, obviously they will be more likely to flip through it, instead that if it's just a large stack of papers on top of each other on the table next to the TV. Later, we will also give you some creative ideas to make a striking guest folder and some tips for easy updating. But first, I believe we have a small poll. The main information I would get out of it is that actually 20% of all of you has no technology in the hotel rooms, and that's really, really interesting. All right, then on to the second part, which is the traditional guest directory. So the traditional guest folder, as in the paper information binder, is what most hotels usually have for the hotels that actually decide to have such option. As already mentioned before, the biggest stake for us, we believe, would be to go for quality over quantity. So if your client type is mainly families, then it would definitely be best to add the family-friendly activities and services that your hotel offers. Like, for example, a kiddie pool, kids shows in the evening, a playground if you have one, or definitely the kids menu in your hotel restaurant. On the other hand, if your client type is mainly business guest, then you would definitely prefer to focus the information on the technical equipment and the meeting rooms and seminar and events that you can actually host in your hotel. And when I meant technical equipment, obviously also Wi-Fi. So is the Wi-Fi available free of charge? Is it only in the room, only in the lobby, or everywhere in the hotel? This information is what's more important for this type of clientele. Another group for this could be the young professionals or the new trending digital nomads that are basically in search of new experiences and again, definitely a good Wi-Fi connection. On the other hand, teenagers or millennials searching for a good time would prefer to know about the bar schedule, the club scene in the area and in the city where you are located, the nightlife. But they are also very keen on discovering the culture of the city. And for the younger travelers, it would be definitely wise if you have the possibility to add a small part showing where the most Instagrammable spots are and to encourage these guests to take a picture, obviously, and tag your hotel to thank you for the recommendation. It's even better if within your hotel you have yourself an Instagrammable spot, like a very nice pool or a flower wall. It's even better. All right, so basically to summarize the basic contents, you need to put these 8 pieces of information about the hotel in general, the room, the current offers, the house rules, the infrastructure, the traffic, leisure activities, and a frequently asked question section. And now we will briefly go all over these 8 categories. So the hotel, what the information that you should definitely put are about the hotel amenities, the current offers, the reception schedule, the parking hours, parking fee, the breakfast. About the room, again, internet access, room service menu, minibar prices, TV with cables, room controls, kitchen facilities if you have a fridge or a teapot or a coffee maker, also info about additional towels and bathrobes, and also a feedback form. About the, sorry, up now, next slide. About the offers, you should definitely put the information about the fitness area, the sauna, the spa, the restaurant opening hours, the private transportation, if you have discounts for public transportation or discount because you have a partnership with an event or a museum nearby, shops, VIP gifts, you name it. Among VIP gifts, we mean clothing with the hotel logo. It can also be wine or champagne in the room, rose petals, honeymoon decorations, and so on. House rules, obviously, emergency exits and procedures, tariff, settlement of bills, check-in, check-out hours, smoking policies, departure, luggage storage, and also the responsibility for guests belonging in their room, but also if a guest leaves, already checks out, but needs their luggage to still be in a room in the hotel. That should definitely be an info that you should put. Regarding the pets, damage to property, local government rules and laws, photographs, videos. Regarding the infrastructure, again, what your hotel has to offer, so wedding venues, conference rooms, pool, jacuzzi, but also doctors, pharmacies, post office, where to find them in the area, banks, ATMs, shopping. Regarding the traffic, we basically mean with that how to get to your hotel. So city map with parking opportunities, cab companies you may have a partnership with or that are actually working in the area, airport shuttle service if there is one, public transportation, how to get back to the hotel from a day or a night out, how to buy train, bus tickets, and so on. With leisure activities, obviously, what is there to do and to see in the area? So regional activities, sightseeing, hiking, biking trails, event lineups, museums, exhibitions, castles, theaters, cinemas. And then the last category is the FAQs, frequently asked questions. This is definitely a must-have for every guest directory. Most guests will know that they can refer to this should the answer to their question not be answered in the first case. And not only will this make the experience of navigating the guest directory more pleasant for the guest, it will definitely ensure your staff are not spending time answering the same questions over and over again. All right. Now that you have all of the essential information to put into your guest directory, let's talk about how to make it look appealing and make your guests actually read it. The design is just as important as the content. I will show you the most important steps to consider when creating and entertaining guests directory that boosts both guest satisfaction and customer retention. And first of all, first impressions count. So you have to provide in a folder that is categorized in a logical and systematic order. It's definitely important not to overload it with complex information and include only the most relevant points. Both the content and design should reflect the hotel's individual style and quality, and your corporate design should have continuity across the website. Printed collateral such as hotel brochures and the guest directory. Also, most and foremost, it should always be updated. As you can imagine, no guest is happy to find out outdated train or bus schedules or like the menu of the last month at the restaurant. Also, you can add a little history about your hotel. Every hotel has its own individual characteristic and story that makes it stand apart from the rest. And it's really, really nice if you actually can tell this story to your guests. This will make it more memorable and relatable. So you can just give a little life to it. Maybe the building was first built to be a brewery or a clothing factory. Maybe Hollywood stars once stayed at your hotel. Maybe there is, sorry, maybe there is an old bunker that you turned into an underground bar. Tell your guests these intriguing facts, and they will for sure remember your establishment forever. Here you can see on the slide, it's about the Sofitel in Hanoi and about Charlie Chaplin and Graham Greene, who visited this hotel and where he wrote his book. So if you have the possibility to do something slightly related to that, you should definitely do it. Now about the actual folder itself. So do you have to go for a leather binder, plastic, paper? We would definitely recommend, if you are a business hotel, to stay simple and keep with the neutral colors like beige, brown, or even black. But if you are any other type of hotel, it would be better to have a more colorful exterior to attract your guests. It will give your hotel a much more young and dynamic image. Other ideas to be creative, you can add within your guest directory a page about recipes from your hotel's restaurant. Let's say your chef cook, he has a signature dish. You should definitely add the recipe inside the folder. But you can also share insiders tips about the city. And actually booking.com does that. When you book through booking.com a day or a couple of days before, you receive an email with their promotional, with the best places to visit. And you should definitely do that as well. Which cafes, restaurants, events you should not miss out on. You can create lists like top 5 restaurants, top 10 bars, top 15 places to see before you leave the city. And our last tip would be to, as written, digitalize your hotel room guest directory. Why? To create added value, not only for your guests, but also for your hotel. In addition to top-notch entertainment, in-room tablets definitely give you the opportunity to get in touch with your guests while they are still in the property. And all doing that all without actually leaving your office or the reception desk. You can also, with the use of in-room tablets, offer and promote additional spa treatments, inform your guests about current events, or even ask your guests for feedback using digital marketing initiatives like push notifications and pop-up messages. Which actually brings us to the third part of this webinar called the Digital Guest Directory. So, according to a study made by the Harvard Business Review, the hospitality industry is actually the only industry with the agriculture and construction that hasn't jumped on the bandwagon of digitalization. So why you, as hotelier, should not start now and have a competitive advantage over other hotels in your region. If we take, for example, a big luxurious hotel, sometimes reception, they don't have the time to give all of the details. And also information can change so often that updating and changing the guest folders in each and every room, it's a hassle. It takes lots of time. Nobody wants to do it because it has to be done manually. You can definitely save on time and energy and also relieve your staff of this tedious task. And first, you need to define the goals of your hotel. So a digital guest directory will help you reach four main goals. The first one being to enhance digital communication. So do you sometimes get the feeling that modern guests are no longer interested in engaging with hotel staff and instead they prefer to confine themselves to their room? Although that might be true, it's not entirely fair. In fact, the younger generation of guests, so basically the millennials, they do value hotel guest communication just as much as the baby boomers or the Generation X's. What has changed, however, is how they communicate and the channels they use to communicate. Digital communication in hotels, which primarily takes place in the pre-stay and post-stay phases, mostly involves third parties. Guests, they book a room on booking.com and they leave reviews on TripAdvisor, therefore never actually communicating directly with the hotel. During their stay, guests often use classic means of communication, and of course, such communication must not be undervalued. Yet, the new generation of guests, the guests of today and the guests of tomorrow, they are much more accustomed to communicating and interacting by digital means. Nowadays, digital solutions are essential if hotels are to prevent third parties, again, such as Booking.com or TripAdvisor, from taking over the hotel guest relationship completely, and if they want to restore direct lines of communication with their guests. Apps and smart TVs are a good start, but choosing a medium that is easy to use is just as important if this communication is to be successful. The second goal is a very important one, to increase sales through upselling. So obviously upselling and cross-selling, everybody knows what it is, and definitely the extra revenue generated by upselling and cross-selling, it's very important, sorry, for hotels. Upselling and cross-selling in the hotel industry involve giving guests the opportunity to purchase additional products or upgraded services. It often involves persuading guests that they stand to gain something tangible, such as added comfort, greater benefits, or better value for money. Hotels often offer products and services like breakfast, chocolates, flowers, tickets for events, babysitting services, or spa treatment. But although this might sound simple, the art of upselling can present a challenge in practice. And usually we can see that the marketing department and the reception desk are the two departments that are tasked with upselling and cross-selling. The receptionist will try to offer the right product or service at the right time, but usually relying on their gut feeling to generate more power and depending on the relationship they actually have with said guests. So some hotels take a more ambitious approach and that train their staff thoroughly on upselling and cross-selling. The problem with that is that by the time you've turned one of your receptionists into an upselling wizard, the season is ending and they move on. Moreover, the additional revenue generated through upselling and cross-selling depends on how motivated hotel employees are and the time they can devote to it. It often requires some kind of commission-based incentive if you really want to see results. So in the end, can a digital guest directory really replace an impeccably trained receptionist? No, no software, robot, or other technical solution is ever likely to replace a personable human receptionist. However, digital guest directories can help make life easier for both you and your receptionist. An in-room tablet is akin to having a silent butler in the hotel room, available to attend to your guests' needs 24/7 and capable of displaying persuasive images and descriptions of your hotel's products and services. It basically works as a digital bridge, enabling your guests to communicate, with the front desk. Nevertheless, you shouldn't simply leave upselling to the tablet. With push notifications, as I mentioned before, you can go one step further and offer special deals to your guests. So for example, you have like one guest that had booked a table at the restaurant or a spa, a treatment at the spa. They cancel last minute, no problem. With just a few clicks, you can send a notification to your other guests' tablets, letting them know that a table has opened up or a slot at the spa. All right, then goal 3, boost brand recognition and communication. In the hotel industry, brand awareness refers to the probability that a guest thinks of a hotel brand and how likely they would be to book or rebook a stay or recommend it to others. For many consumers, brand awareness and trust definitely play a key role in their purchase decision. A high degree of brand awareness can therefore translate into a long-term sustainable and competitive advantage for a company. But how far does in-room brand communication needs to go? Today, simply featuring the hotel logo on bed linen, shower gel, or pens is nowhere near enough to secure guest loyalty to the hotel brand. While the entire process, from searching for information to leaving a review after the stay, has become increasingly digitized in recent years, the actual hotel room itself has not changed has actually changed very little. This remains the case despite the fact that the guest now lives in a completely new digital world. And now we're going to go to the last and final goal number 4, optimize and automate processes. With the advent of digitalization, guest services in the hotel industry have transformed from a purely transactional service into something more interactive. It is no longer rare to see digital check-in and check-out, self-service kiosks in the hotel lobbies, or digital communication with staff via hotel apps. In fact, in certain categories of hotels, guests actually expect to see these things as standards nowadays. In the hotel industry, process optimization goes hand in hand with automation. If a process is automated using technology, the goal is to optimize that process. For example, lobby robots can lighten the load of front office staff and at the same time help answer guests' questions. Now I will mention the green option, which is one of the features regarding sustainability. So, sorry. So because we are at SuitePad specialized in in-room tablets, I will give you some examples of how you can use this device with our expertise and experience. So here at SuitePad, we have this option feature called the green option that offers the guests the choice to forego room cleaning on the days of their choice. Obviously for this, they need to stay more than one night. Guests will receive a pop-up notification on the tablet, or there will be a fixed tile on the tablet that asks them if they'd like their room cleaned the next day. This is basically, you can think of it as a do not disturb door hanger. And yeah, so the green option title, it's a default word that we have here at SuitePad. It's the name we've given it, but you can call it wherever you want. It's your hotel. You can definitely change the name. We have some of our clients, some of our hotel partners, they are much more straightforward and they called it unsubscribe from housekeeping. And yeah, so that's up to you. Here you can see more numbers, so you will be able to actually realize the benefit of this feature. So the cost savings alone makes this option attractive, as hotels actually tend to spend copious amounts on cleaning staff, laundry services, and cleaning equipment, all of which can be dramatically reduced by offering our green option. So for example, here we have the Hotel Esplanade Bad Zaro here in the area of Berlin. It was calculated that the cost of cleaning each room was 12 euros 84 cents. In the first months that they implemented our SuitePad solution, the green option was chosen by 115 different guests, resulting in a total saving of 1,476.60 euros. And this amount alone actually covers the cost of the monthly license for SuitePad, and you have actually generated revenue. It's much more. Uh, All right. Also, with our SuitePad tablet, you have some other functionalities. Another good thing about in-room tablets is that basically you can replace even more technology in the room. Like for example, here you can see the TV control, the TV remote control, sorry, and the telephone. So some tablet providers offer this feature, and SuitePad clients have been very happy with the results because their guests, they can use one tool, one tablet for all of these actions. The TV remote control works with an infrared blaster, and the telephone system integrates with voice over IP. So actually the hotel really doesn't have to worry about paying extra costs for integrating these features directly into the tablet. And again, the biggest advantage is having one device to control everything. All right, now with the part 4, the last one of this webinar, I will talk now about our tips and best practices for a digital guest directory. So yeah, game-changing improvements you can make. Definitely, if you decide to go for a digital guest directory, you should check your internet speed. Having technology, of course, also means that you need a good internet connection, both to keep your guests satisfied and to ensure your hotel is running optimally. And you need to guarantee that your Wi-Fi connection is strong enough and fast enough. Fast internet connection and download times will mean your guests aren't waiting around or actually finding other means of contacting you. They'll be able to request their needs at the touch of a button without any delays. The second tip would be to research your competition. Staying ahead of the competition is especially important in the hotel industry, especially if you have a small or independent hotel and are a smaller property. Competing against big hotel chains can be a daunting task, and having such top of the market technology is definitely a good way to do so. All right, now regarding the the must-haves for a digital in-room tablets. First of all, an eye-catching welcome screen. We mentioned earlier, like the coloring, if you decided to go for a paper version, it's the same here. An eye-catching welcome screen. Choose a beautiful image for the welcome screen that fits your hotel's corporate design and identity. The welcome screen should basically ignite curiosity and invite the guests to further discover the digital guest folder's contents. And here we put some example of one of our hotel's partners, the Mandala, the Bacena, and the Provocateur, each with a different type of picture, but still very intriguing and enticing. Other must-haves that are definitely important, you have to make, for the tablet, you have to make room service easy, both easy to find and easy to use. No need for paper menus slid under the door anymore. No more searching for menus in a never-ending website. The room service menu is tastefully placed in the tablet, and guests can check it anytime and order with just the touch of a button. Another option that also has to be very clear, easy to find, easy to use, it's late checkout. You have to make it easy for your guests to find the late checkout on the digital guest folder if you offer this service by allowing them to submit a late checkout request to reception. This can create extra revenue for your hotel, and actually offering this option by the click of a button will more than likely make guests to request this service. And also, I have mentioned it in the already before, but you have to put interesting tips for the area. If you know a secret spot in your city or you have a great local restaurant to recommend, add it to the guest directory. You can give it a personal touch if you want. You can have your own staff actually add their own personal places, but you definitely need something like this. And um, to finish, but that's also very important, entertainment. You have to make sure to include digital entertainment in your guest folder, because what you do not want is to just transfer the what once you was printed in the paper folder version into the digital form. Digitalization makes it possible to entertain your guests in their hotel rooms in many ways, and we have here three different ways. So with something to read, so entertainment with reading, so links to regional and international newspapers makes it easy for your guest to take a nice coffee break while reading the news. And actually, if you'd like to provide more than just links to newspapers websites, because sometimes they are restricted, you can include SuitePad's newspaper service in your digital guest folder that gives your guests access to 400 newspapers in 20 languages. Second type of entertainment, music. You can include links to online radio stations or actually direct your guests to streaming services so they can listen to their favorite music on YouTube, SoundCloud, or Spotify. And last but not least, games to play. So basically, grown-ups, guests, they will more than likely prefer classics like Sudoku or chess, but for children and teenagers, they love like coloring apps, memory games, or other interactive games that can be integrated into the guest folder. All right, to be honest, I'm pretty much done here. I guess we can now go on to the Q&A session. Thank you very much for listening.